Moist Critical made a video talking about the current state of One Punch Man Season 3, and as you can see, this video has almost 3 million views, and throughout the entire video, Charlie goes out of his way, and he talks about how he loves One Punch Man, he loves Season 1, he was kind of about Season 2, and then Season 3 he just downright does not like, and he comments on the art and animation, very similar things that I commented on yesterday as well, and the fact that you have this video blowing up and there's a lot of people talking about it, I think really just paints a picture about the current state of One Punch Man and how bad of a state it currently is in. The fact that you have individuals like Charlie that doesn't normally talk about anime, making an entire video dedicated to talk about how bad Season 3 is, I think really just goes to show the public perception right now of how One Punch Man Season 3 is. And the fact that the only time that it's went viral now at this point is thanks to this PNG of Garo, and now people are making meme edits of it, which, to be fair, is pretty funny. It really just showcases the current state of the anime. That the only talking points right now is just how lackluster or average it is, maybe for its final action scene at the end of the second episode, and everything else is just pretty much dog water. And I legit am just sad about that. Like, you know what? I'm gonna let Charlie here talk about it briefly here for you guys can see what he's actually saying, because I don't want to take words out of his mouth.
Also, just the character work is executed so well in Season 1. It is extremely good. It is extraordinary. And Season 2 rolled around, and it was a bit of a wet fart. That
Agreed.
one was very disappointing.
It could have been better,
me,
it wasn't
and
bad.
I know a lot of people don't like
I'm going to say something real quick before I let Charlie continue. Yeah, Season 2 wasn't as good as Season 1, and I don't think Season 2 ever would have reached the heights of Season 1. But the thing is that the fact that we can't even get the quality of Season 2 for Season 3 is just so damning, and it really shows that everyone that was like the head honchos deciding the production of One Punch Man Season 3 really, they threw this product, like, basically under the bus. They made sure that there was every obstacle in its way for it could fail, and it makes me very sad to see that, because it's like, the fact we can't even reach Season 2 levels of quality, which unanimously, majority of the community agreed was not good, and the fact that Season 3 is worse is insane to me. Anyways, let Charlie continue. Sorry for pausing.
My take on it, but I mean, it's how I feel about it. I think it is just such a huge step down, not only in the obvious decline in animation quality. It's a different studio. It's JC staff that took it over, which doesn't typically do something like One Punch Man, and they did not a great job.
Now, here's the thing I want to comment on Charlie. JC staff does make some action shows, like Don Machi is a very good example. They probably don't do, like, They do stuff similar to One Punch Man, not the exact, obviously, different stories and stuff. JC Staff does have a team that can make action shows, but it's very clear that the priority for One Punch Man was just not there. It's not. JC Staff is actually working on an entirely different series for this anime season that does just, I want to be blunt with you, looks a lot better than One Punch Man. Now, obviously, different staff, different animators, director, etc. But the point is it's very clear that they put their main staff or priority team on this, like, Isekai series, this Reincarnated Another World series, instead of focusing on One Punch Man, which is, once again, very strange, because, as I've already kind of pretty much said over and over again, One Punch Man is a series that would just sell. Name alone, brand recognition, it would just sell. And maybe that's what they're assuming because of, you know, how popular it is. It'll sell regardless of how bad it is. And in some ways, maybe they're right about that because, I mean, there's so much conversation around it. But also, you have people actively defending the series in Season 3 on Reddit, on social media like Twitter and stuff. And the fact that there's people even trying to defend average or slightly above average animation is insanity to me. But the point is that One Punch Man is an easy victory. It's an easy victory. If they were to put even the regular type of standard for normal anime in it, it would have legitimately popped off. I legitimately think. It didn't even need to reach the same heights as, let's say, JJK, Chainsaw Man, or Demon Slayer. It just needed to be above average, and then people would be talking about it. But the fact that it couldn't even do that, I feel like, is insane. Like, it's actually insane. Anyways, let me let you know, Charlie continue talking. Sorry, once again for pausing.
Have the greatest animation. It was no longer fluid. It had some really wonky CG in there, and it just wasn't as great as Season 1.
Okay, I gotta pause again. I do think that Studio Madhouse really screwed over any other season after One Punch Man Season 1. Like, for those that don't know, Studio Madhouse is the ones that animated One Punch Man Season 1. And obviously there was an all-star team, there was a lot of, like, calls called in to bring people in to work on that, and that's why that, like, type of quality can't be redone for Season 2 and Season 3. It was just such a rarity, it's such an oddity for an anime for its era. And, the thing is that even if, let's say, Madhouse theoretically got the project again, they would not even be able to replicate what Season 1 was. And I just feel like, no matter what, regardless of the quality of Season 3, even if it was, let's say, good, like, it wasn't maybe as good as Season 1, but it was good, it would never reach those heights ever again. It would be very rare for it to do something like that. And I feel like that's the curse, honestly, with just how good Season 1 was. No matter what is done, it was going to never be as good. Maybe JC staff kind of knew that no matter what they did, they would never be able to reach those heights again, and maybe that's just why they gave up, why they don't try. I mean, maybe that's a possibility, who really knows? But, anyways, let me continue the video. Let me continue letting Charlie speak.
Still a fine season, but just such a huge step back. So, when it was announced that Season 3 of One Punch Man was once again going to be that same studio, I was immediately sad, but I tried to remain optimistic that maybe this time, given more time to cook, they could deliver something better. And now,
I'm not gonna lie, my thoughts right here for what he's talking about when it comes to JC staff getting Season 3 again, I had similar thoughts. Now, obviously, I do know it comes down to the staff, the director, and all that really decides, because you could have a studio have completely different directors and animators. It could just be amazing, but sometimes it's absolutely dog water. It's not always a studio that decides if it's going to be good or not. It comes down to production committee and a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. But I do think that JC staff as well, it's very clear, just like with what their pipeline is and what they output with a lot of different shows and anime, I legitimately just do not think that their studio was fully equipped to take on One Punch Man and give it the same level of quality that you see from other stuff in the industry. That's just my personal takeaway. Obviously, people might say that I am misinformed or whatever, but the point is that I do think that JC staff, the fact that they got the project, I think they should have given it away to another studio, but obviously that was not the case. But there was a part of me that wanted to believe that they were going to cook, that they were going to try to do their 110% and all that, I wanted to believe that. And I had copium and hopium that Season 3 would turn out okay, but obviously we know how that went. Anyways, let Charlie continue.
Now that we're 2 episodes in, they're delivering something even worse. It is actually even worse. Season 2 got dubbed by the fans One Frame Man because there's so little animation. A lot of the times you're watching still images, basically just manga panels and a PowerPoint. Season 3 is even worse so far. I shit you not, in the latest episode, episode 2, there is 2 separate scenes where it is a still image with the slowest panning camera imaginable. I actually thought my TV froze.
He's talking about the beginning of the episode, by the way. What I commented on yesterday for my episode review, he's talking about that 40-second opening sequence. Like, right after the opening, song, you had 40 seconds of just still frames and talking over. He's right. Like, it's not a good opening to an episode. It's really bad, especially when you see the actual still frame panel down to the characters on a speaker and you see no movement, no mouth movement or anything. It's not good. It's a really bad first impressions to an episode. He is spot on this. It is not good.
And it goes on for, 20 seconds. Like, it 40, lingers actually for 20 seconds on just a still frame and some, narrator dialogue. And, it's just inexcusable. How can something as good as the One Punch Man property get this treatment? It's incomprehensible to me.
That is the question I've had. That's the one that really blows me away, because it's the property is clearly big. There's a lot of brand recognition. Anyone involved at the top, I seriously don't know what they were thinking. It's insane to me. Because One Punch Man should 100% be Anime of the Year, or at least contender for Anime of the Year. There should be a no question at all for that, because that's what it should deliver. It should be conversation piece of holy crap, look at how crazy this episode looks. Look how crazy this action and animation is. That's what I was wanting to see. But the fact we're having the exact opposite is not good. It's not good at all.
It's just insulting, especially considering some of the most slop trash manga is getting beautiful anime adaptations. These actual nothing burger properties you've never heard of that are just actual garbage, bottom of the barrel slop.
He's
last winter, the Wizard Lord Transmograph.
So he is not entirely wrong here. There is a lot of series, let's be blunt. I love my isekai slop. Reincarnate another world slop. That's just like garbage, isekai trash. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. But to be fair, a lot of those stories are carbon copies or repeats of the same old tired themes and tropes that we've seen over and over again. And it's hilarious that you'll have these, like, crazy series that, like, are not really well recognized, not really well known, not really crazy brand recognition to them whatsoever. They're getting better anime adaptations and fluid art animation than what One Punch Man Season 3 is getting. And I do agree on this. He is right. It's just like, anyone at the top that decided One Punch Man to get this type of treatment, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Fired me into a paperclip and whisked me away to Vampireville, where all of these vampire babes shoved me up their ass and tasked me with defeating the Demon Lord. And it's like, who even knows what that is? And then the anime rolls out and it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
Like, why does that kind of garbage get that kind of passionate studio treatment, but something like One Punch Man, beloved, gets JC staff spitting in our face? I don't understand it. Now, I want to mention, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I just don't think this is the kind of studio that can do One Punch Man justice. They already proved they couldn't with Season 2, yet they're hopping back on the saddle again with Season 3 just to prove people even more right that they just can't do it. So, why did they even get this work again?
So, basically, the rest of the video is more or less talking about the situation. I'm gonna, end it there on talking about, or showing Charlie's video. The big takeaway from this is that Charlie, he's not someone that actively talks about anime and manga. He does here and there, but not actively. He's not like, always making videos on it continuously. And the fact that he dedicated, a video yesterday to this, talking about One Punch Man Season 3's latest episode and season, I think says a lot. Just how the average fan really is feeling about One Punch Man. As much as people are trying to have this copium and hopium and lie to themselves and deny what's really going on, let's say on subreddits of One Punch Man or whatever, the truth of the matter is the average watcher is extremely disappointed with Season 3. It does not look good, people don't like the way it's being handled, and a lot of people have this anger probably towards JC staff. Now, I don't know exactly where it all went wrong. I don't blame the animators or even the director that is working on One Punch Man Season 3. It's very clear they're trying their absolute hardest to get the series out and at least animate it. Obviously, we see how that's going. But the point is I think the real problem is that the production committee at the top, not JC staff, the production committee and the head honchos that decided everything, they did not allow JC staff probably enough time to really work on the product. They didn't allow the proper allocation maybe of funds or staffing or whatever could be going on there to the project. And I don't know why or how that happened, but I do think that in general, this only makes JC staff look bad. Because even if it isn't necessarily JC staff's fault, it does make them look bad since their name is associated. And it allows the true people that are really causing the problems to get away with it and not get any backlash because they're basically this shadowy figure, no name in the background that the common average anime watcher or manga reader is not legitimately aware of. And I think that is the big issue here. And it's just like, a lot of people are going to have this hatred and negativity towards the animators or the director when it's, like I said, it's not their fault. It's sad, man. It's just a very sad situation overall, just seeing a property like One Punch Man mistreated like this. As a big mega fan of it and that loves the series, I hate that I was right, that I called it months ago. Literally at the beginning of this year, basically, I talked about how we were going to have one of the biggest disasters for anime of this year, and it really is shaping up to be like that. It's like, at this point, in terms of the immeasurable disappointment, I do think that it's probably way beyond what the beginning after the end was like. I know that beginning after the end technically was kind of worse in a lot of different areas, but the property of One Punch Man, in my opinion, is just way bigger. It is bigger than the beginning after the end, and I feel like because of the quality of its anime, it's going to do irreparable damage to the product, to where we might not even ever see a Season 4. I could be wrong, but we will see. I'll leave it at that, though. Just wanted to talk about this. Made me very sad. I love you guys. Be safe. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Helps with the algorithm. Chibi out.